Sabrina here and welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we are going to look at whether it's better to purchase property from an auction or an agent. Right? Now, I'm not saying whether it's better to do any or the other, but we're going to look at the pros and cons of both of those options, and then you can decide which one you think is best for you. I've always enjoyed the process of auction and all the exhilaration that you feel. The auction will give you that. If you like thrills, if you like living on the risky side, although I'm not really risky though, but if you like a little bit of risk and like a bit of a thrill, like going to Thorpe Park or going to one of those adventure playgrounds and you just on a big swing and you're going down and you're feeling all in your body, the auction is good for that because it's like it's competition, right? Best man wins, and I love that. But if you're not and you like to take it slow, you like the slow dance and you like the slow wine, then agents is good for you. Anyway, let's take a look at these pros and these cons and you can decide. Now, I enjoy working with estate agents because you get to build relationships with them. You can go in, you can tell them your criteria, tell them what you're looking for, and they can go and put it all up on their computer and see what's available at the moment. It's almost like a personal, tailored service in a way. And if you build a good relationship, then you will only have things sent to you that really are interesting for you. Because if you're too, far away and not really touching in with your agent that much, then they will only send you almost like a blank sheet of any 3-bed that's on the market, any 2-beds that's on the market, or whatever your criteria is. They'll just send that to you and then you have to sift through everything. But if you're building a really good relationship, and agents, they are clued up, they do generally know what investors want, then you can go and get that tailored service. So I love agents for that, because with an auction there is no tailoring, honey. I mean, there's an element of it, whereas if you're signed up to this AIG, and you can kind of check out what's going on in your area and just go zoom in on that property, but there's no agent per se who liaises with you and knows your name and your address, and they can go and type you in and find these properties for you and send it to you just like that. You might get that service if you give them a bell, or if you're already inquiring about a property that you've seen online, and whilst you're on the phone you could say, hey, by the way, do you have anything else in that area? They might direct you back to the website because that's not really their job, but they might be caring enough to tell you whatever. There's a few more here. What's your email address? I'll send them over to you. I like estate agents because you do get that personalized you do get that personalized service, whereas with auctions you do not. Offers. Now, when it comes to offering on a property with estate agents, the process is slow. And the reason I say slow is because you have a seller at the end who is naming their price. Generally, when you're buying from an estate agent, you go in and you're making an offer. So if it's, unless you're but bearing in mind, we're talking about investment properties. So unless you're like a first-time buyer who's going to live in the house as a residential property for yourself, then your motivation for buying is different, and therefore you will spend differently. So we're just talking about investment properties here. Let's just keep it all around investment to keep this easy for me, honey. So if you're looking at offering on an investment property, then it's likely that seller is going to want the best price that they can have. So you might end up going into some kind of negotiation battle. So it can be a bit long and drawn out. Whereas with the auction, you would then going to your auction house, having worked out your numbers ahead of time, and you will go up to your maximum amount. It's pretty much done there and then. So there's no slow dancing, because once you put your offer in, and if you offer and it doesn't go, you don't win for whatever and it goes to another buyer, then it goes to another buyer, on to the next one. But if you are the winner of the bid, then your offer has been successful, and just like that you own a property, because you have to put the money down right then and there. So the legalities are quite different as well as that, when you make an offer with an agent, you want to show loads of different details, and if you don't have those details to hand that help them take you seriously with an estate agent, then you might not get those good deals. You might not be able to get on that black book as everybody talks about. Whereas with auction, it's none of that. Some of them do want your proof of funds up front, actually. Don't quote me on that, because I've had to show proof of funds up front. I've had to show, especially when buying for a company, ID, and I've also had to show my company information, company registration number. I had to show that. So in a way, there's still an element of security. They've got to ensure that these people are serious. So there is an element of security there as well. And to be honest, no one really wants to be wasting anyone's time. So whatever direction you go, they probably will check. But I do find with an auction, it just doesn't seem, it seems like you can bag a deal a bit more easier. Whereas with an agent, you really have to kind of build that relationship, show them you've got everything in place and you're ready. And therefore, if you're trying to pull a front, honey, it ain't gonna work too well with the agents unless you got a friend who's got a good bank account with some good money in it, so you can borrow their bank statement. I don't advise that, but I'm just saying. So yeah, I like that. With estate agents, you have the opportunity to view properties as many times as you need to, as many times as you want, so long it's within a period of time where there's not a lot of buyers who are interested and they're not doing the bidding wars. Because there's times where I've been to a property and that was the only time I could go, and if I could not get my builder in at that time, that was so annoying, because then I had to make a decision based on the information I know about renovation costs. And while it is good and very in depth, it's not everything. Builders pick up on the smallest thing. I love walking around my house with a builder, walking around a house with a builder, because they pick up on stuff you never would have thought about. So I love that. But with estate agents, it's likely you get many opportunities to view a house when you're purchasing, whereas when you're going through an auction, they have their scheduled times generally, unless you're here in Wales, because with Wales they don't have scheduled times. They will say to you, what time would you like to view? And I was coming from London, I was like, what time? What? I have a choice? What, am I the only one interested in this place? It was completely different. London, you don't have the option. You got to go to scheduled viewings. Okay, they call them slots. You got to go to viewing slots. Whereas here you have a little bit of flexibility. You can choose your own time. Either way, you do have somewhat a set amount of time that you can go to that property before you have to make a decision, work out your numbers, and know whether or not it's a property you're going to move on. So I like that flexibility with agents. I also like that flexibility with auction anyway, because you are able to view many times. You just have to know your stuff just a little bit more. You've got to be a bit more certain, or have a professional who knows their stuff. And I think I'm going to do a video on that, what to look for on properties, go and doing a walkthrough. My walkthroughs are quite funny, I'm not going to lie. I've sent them to some of my clients and they are laughing at me because of the stuff that I do. I check everything and anything. And if you see some big spiders, and I don't like spiders, honey, so they will scare you. So yeah, really good thing to watch out for that video. I also like working with estate agents because they bring properties to you. I like that. Hey Sabrina, I got something available for you. In fact, I've got 3 properties available for you. I think you're gonna love them. Check your email, let me know what you think, and get back to me right away. I love those phone calls. They bring me so much joy, because then I know that I have 3 potential deals sitting in my inbox, and it costs you nothing. People who are sourcers, they do this on a full-time basis, and that's why I like sourcers, because they're, again, bringing you deals that they've already negotiated, they've already got it in the bag, and all you got to do is pay for it and pay for their service for doing that for you. And that's a nice shortcut to investing in property. That saves you a lot of time. That's what that saves you, is a lot of time and money too, because it takes time and money to be traveling up to auctions, driving up to estate agents and viewing these houses, and going back and reviewing them again, and then getting a builder. Whereas with a source, if they're going to do all of that for you, then you've saved yourself a lot of time and a lot of money, and I love that. Agents, they've got somewhat of a similar role. You can almost set up your agent to be similar to a sourcer in a way. If you're working with an experienced agent who knows about property and they know their stuff, they're very, very useful, honey, let me tell you. Auctions, the reason I really like auction is because you're going to get a good deal. You're more likely to get a deal at an auction, because typically properties are selling 20% below their market value generally, and it's not unusual for you to bag a bargain. Whereas with agents, you got to kind of work a bit, and they don't come around so often. So with the auction, everyone thinks auction, oh, discount, and it's an expectation, and it makes it more likely that you're going to get the numbers that you want to achieve by purchasing through auctions. So I do like it for that reason. The pros of buying through an auction is, the process is is quick. I mean, you're completing a deal within 21 working days or 28 days. I mean, I love that 21 working days, 21 days or 28 days. And I actually like that as a buyer. Even as a seller, I would like that. I've never sold through auction, but I have purchased through auction, and I genuinely like that a lot more better, because I know once that hammer goes down, in 4 weeks time, we're starting a renovation, and that gives you time scale, you can plan. Whereas if you're going through a Whereas if you're going through an estate agent, you don't have that time-bound scale that you have when you're buying with buying through an auction. Because with agents, you know, you've got your solicitor going through that process, and you've got their solicitor going through that process, and their solicitor, Lord knows what they might do. You know, they might take 6 weeks, or they might take 2 months to help with that sale go through. They don't understand that you're an investor who's ready to go. They just see it as another house being sold. Whereas with auction properties, everyone understands the time constraints involved. It's clear, it's set in paper. In fact, it's even on the conditions, on the paperwork. So we all know what timescales we're working to. So if you send that to your solicitor or your conveyancer, they already know what timescales you're working to, and it's likely you're going to achieve it. Whereas when you're purchasing through a estate agent and you've got that seller working with their solicitor, that process can be a very long-winded process, darling. It can be very long-winded, and you can be sitting there, can't even tell your builder a set time because you don't even know when it's gonna happen. So that's the annoying thing about working with estate agents, and the beauty of purchasing from a property auction. Another pro of purchasing through the auction is that you have a lot of options. I feel like there's a lot of below market value options, if you want to call it that. You know, there's a lot of cheap property, a lot of them need renovation, a lot of them need, you know, sprucing up and really bringing them up to their real value. And I like that you have that in abundance when you go into an auction. Whereas with an estate agent, those aren't so regular. They're more, I wouldn't say they're a dime a dozen, but they're definitely not so regular. So, you know, your likeliness of closing a deal through an estate agent is good. It's very high. You know, don't underestimate it at all. But with an auction, I like the fact that there's plenty of them. It's already there. It's like going to Superdrug, and you know that you're going to walk through Superdrug aisle and you're going to see loads of toiletries. Likewise, if you go to Holland and Barrett, which is a health shop, right? All healthy, organic, nutritious seeds and raisins and stuff. If you go to Holland and Barrett, you know you're going to be, you know, bombarded with lots of healthy options. But if you go to the supermarket, you're going to have lots of healthy options, but you also have a lot of other stuff that you're not really interested in. So the auction for me is Holland and Barrett. It's wholesale foods. It's whole foods, where you go, lots of organic food and lots of good stuff, lots of cheap property, lots of stuff that needs a bit of work doing. Whereas the estate agent is more like a Tesco's, or if you're in America, or Shaw's, or, you know, one of those big supermarkets where there's just a lot more other stuff to look at, and you've got to source through that. So I do like auction for that reason. You know, there's just loads of opportunities, all within the range that you want. I like that. So I really hope that these things have helped you look at the pros and the cons of purchasing through auction, purchasing through estate agent, purchasing through an estate agent, and you kind of decide on which one you would want to do. If you're starting out, I mean, it's great to build a relationship with an estate agent. If you want my advice, I would definitely build a relationship with your local estate agent, or whatever patch you're investing in, and just come to them as a person. Don't come to them as this big business. Hey, I'm from ABC Limited and we do this and we do that. Don't do all that, because they're going to look at you just like another investor on the block, or wannabe investor on the block, and they're not going to treat you and give you that interpersonal service. And that's really what you want. Sorry about this dog. I don't know if you guys can hear a dog, but I've got a dog barking like crazy outside in the back garden, and that's my neighbour's dog. We're on lockdown and everybody's at home. It's annoying. You don't want to go into a estate agent talking about, you know, I want this deal, I've got 100 grand in my account, I'm looking to go, I want whatever you have available right now. You really want to talk to them like a person. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, my name's, you know, Bob. My name's Bob, and, you know, I've just been looking in the area, and I just really want to purchase a buy to let, or, you know, a buy to sell project, and, you know, I've managed to get a bit of cash, and I just want to see what I can do in this area. And I was wondering, could you tell me like some of the best areas that are around here where, you know, people would buy properties really quickly, or, you know, can you tell me the best areas where there's, you know, first time buyers who are really interested in buying homes, or, you know, where the most popular areas that people are buying in at the moment? moment? Or, could you tell me where the popular areas where people are renting at the moment? Talk to them, not like duh, but I'm just saying in terms of having a conversation like you're not standing on top of a mountain and I am the investor. Just like how I'm talking to you now, you just want to have a casual conversation with them. You just want to, find out what's in the area. And, I've got a bit of cash in the bank now. Fortunately, I've sold my own house, or, and I just, whatever you want to tell them, but I've sold my own house. I just really want to see what's available. Could you help me? Yeah, but play the damsel in distress. I mean, if you're a girl, play the damsel in distress. I can't believe I'm even saying that. But play the damsel in distress. I mean, look, you got to get the job done. Look, I need help. Help me. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That's it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Say you need help. Tell them you need help. Can you help me, please? I'm stuck. This is what I do. If you come the other way, they're not going to help you, because there's so many people who are, providing services of such. I'm the ABC investor and I have $1 million in my account and I'm looking to buy 10 houses in the next 5 years, or sorry, in the next 6 months, and can you help me? They're going to say, oh, okay, you're one of those. And you're literally going to be categorized and they'll just send you everything. And then you've got to do all the sieving. You don't want to, the whole point of this is you don't want to sieve. You want to get straight to the point. Time is of the essence and we all don't have time. So that's what you're trying to cut out. I might do a video on working with sources, because I thoroughly enjoy working with sources. I think they really do get straight to the point. They cut the chase. They know exactly what it is you're looking for when you give them, exact details. So if you know what you want, then it's easy for you to be able to provide the service if you're going in as a sourcer, or it's easy for you to work with a sourcer if you're looking to be an investor hands-free, or an investor or whatever, get your hands dirty, hands-free, whatever, but work with the sourcer, right? Those are the key things. So, it's up for you to make a decision which one you like. I like all three. I actually like all three. You also have the option of finding properties off market, but that's a whole nother video and I'll get into that separately. Knowledge is power, and that's what I'm hoping to give you by doing these videos. Thank you for watching until the end. And if you have, you are definitely one of the lucky ones who will be given the opportunity to win a 15-minute free consultation with me, where we look at where you are and where you want to go, and I will give you details on how to get there. Now, I wish I had this when starting out. I eventually did get it and I had to spend a lot of money getting it too, because there's mentors everywhere, and I felt that it was very important that I have one, because I did not want to waste time. So I'm willing to do that 15 minutes consultation with you, where we talk about your life, where you are and where you want to get to. Now, I do like to chitter chatter just a little bit, so we might go over just a little bit, but what's important is that you walk away satisfied with the information that you have, so you can start taking active steps. Now, in 15 minutes you won't be able to take every active step, of course not, but it's to give you an idea of what's possible, because a lot of people don't know. They're in a full-time job or not, and they don't even know where to go to get started, or what does it even look like. So in that consultation we will cover that information. In order to qualify, all you have to do is be a subscriber already. You had to have liked this video, and you would have commented down below. And anything, just a little snippet about what you'd liked about this video. Then I will do that consultation. If I have the opportunity to do it live, I'll do it live, but if I can't, then I can't. And I've got to respect people's privacy. So we'll come to that. We'll conclude on that depending on what they want to do. We'll book a time that's convenient for you, that's convenient for me, and we will make sure that you get content that you are happy with, so you walk away with a plan of what your next steps are to get you going on your life of financial freedom, which we all want. I really hope you have enjoyed this video and have found it useful. I'll be doing plenty more on property. Whilst in property, I do work by myself, and I'm going to be dropping a little bit of other stuff in my videos too, about lifestyle and just hobbies to keep you busy in between the boring elements of doing property, which it can be. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.